This is task 2C part 3, where you are asked to create a breakdown of payments over the term of the lease. So we're given some data and we need to understand what the data in this table means. Each of these transactions, 1, 2 and 3, refer to payments that are made. These payments are made every 2 months, bi-monthly. So we'll have transactions 1, 2, 3 and it tells us it will go on to transaction 30. That's because we can have a maximum of 5 years on a lease, 6 payments a year, 5 times 6 is 30. So these transactions will go all the way down to 30. Next we have our starting balance. Well, our starting balance will be the value of the lease to start off with in the first row. So if you look here, 16,500, that is what the balance is. Now that's just what we're putting in here on this time. Of course that 16,500 can change and the whole table will change. Then we've got our interest. Our interest is calculated by multiplying the annual percentage rate by the starting balance, and then we have to divide it by 6 because it's got to be for a bi-monthly payment, not an annual payment. We're also told that this figure will be rounded down to the nearest penny. Our cumulative interest is how much interest has been paid so far. So in the first transaction, the total interest is just the same as this interest payment here. But every time afterwards, the total interest will be how much interest has been paid so far, the cumulative interest, plus the interest for this particular transaction. The total payment is how much is being paid that month. Now in the vast majority of cases it will be £1,076.72. Well, that is what the case is in this one. It will of course vary, but it will just be whatever the total payment is here. But there will come a time when the total payment is more than what needs to be paid. Now what needs to be paid is the starting balance plus the interest. When that becomes the case, we won't be paying the total payment anymore. What we'll be paying instead is just the sum of the starting balance and the interest, and that will tell us how much is left to pay, and that will be the final payment. The ending balance will become 0 and all other figures after that will be 0. The ending balance is the starting balance plus the interest, so that's how much is owed, less how much has been paid this particular period. You'll notice then that the starting balance for the next transaction is the same as the ending balance for the previous transaction. So you end on that balance and that then becomes the starting balance for the next transaction.